My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life.
Dan, it's Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Thank you. Well, let's just take a moment to slow down and reflect. What are you feeling most thankful for this year, either personally or professionally?
Well, professionally, it's one of these things where we have a team.
Mhm.
And to feel like a lot of advisors feel like they're kind of out on an island, and they're maybe a little bit alone in thinking about how do we do business, how do we take care of all the things that our clients need. And I'm very grateful for the fact that we have a team where we can help a lot of people improve their quality of life in a profoundly positive way. And yet we don't feel like, any one person has to work excessive hours. They're not under an enormous amount of stress. If one of our people goes on vacation, somebody else can step in and help them out. And that team development over time is really a challenge for a lot of small business owners. So I'm very appreciative that we have that whole team approach and that it works extremely well. We had a very good year this year, and yet at the same time, we were able to accomplish that without too much stress on anyone.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think for me, this year made me really appreciate changing careers. I think my whole intent in changing, one of the reasons I wanted to change was because I did not feel like I was doing meaningful work when I was an engineer, and being able to actually help people and do something that I feel is very meaningful was definitely accentuated this year. I've been able to help even more people than I've done in previous years. And just being able to help people navigate, lifestyle changes, kids, and new jobs, and approaching retirement and things like that. It's just definitely been something that I've been very grateful for.
Well,
So,
and you have younger kids,
mhm.
so why don't you talk a little bit about leaving engineering and being a financial advisor? What has that done for you from, I guess, this work-life balance perspective that a lot of people are trying so hard to find in life?
Oh man, for me, it's been an extreme difference in terms of the amount of time that I now have. When I was in engineering, I was traveling a lot, so I was away from home a lot. I was working very, very long hours, so um, that freed up some time. The stress level was somewhat unbearable at times. It was like everything is due yesterday. So it's just been an extreme difference. I think my family notices the difference in how peaceful I am, how much more time I have available to just do fun things with as a family. So it's made a major, major impact, and it's been very, very different.
Well, there's a lot of career changer advisors that are out there, and a lot of them are women, and
Mhm.
they are juggling the challenges of a career, raising a family, and all of that. And so for you to be able to find that along the way,
Mhm.
that's something that this career does offer, and I appreciate that feedback.
Yes, absolutely. So, as we head into the end of the year, many people start thinking about wrapping things up financially. What should people be looking at when they take stock of their finances?
Well, for a lot of people, financially, the holidays are a stressor. You know,
Mm,
it's it's expensive nowadays when you're talking about hosting families, whether it's, food for Thanksgiving, or you're thinking about maybe Christmas presents for Christmas season or holiday season. And, for a lot of people, they look at that and they see it more as a stress than as a really positive, good thing.
Mhm.
And I like to tell people that this is a time of year to really be intentional about quality of life. We
Yes.
relentlessly remind people about quality of life. And of course, that's inherently personal to all of our viewers. We're talking about your values and priorities and motivations. So the year end allows us an opportunity to really think about, okay, am I making decisions in alignment with my values? Or am I in like a default mode where I procrastinate? It's just inertia where I'm doing the same things over and over and over. And yet I would hope for a different result, but yet I'm not changing any of my actions. So this is a great time of year to reflect on the types of things you're doing. Do you value experiences more than things? You talked about your family, spending time with them. I know you took some vacations this year with family.
Mhm.
And, I think that's important to really determine, like, where am I aligning my resources with what's important to me?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Around this time, people also feel more charitable and inspired to give. So, for someone who wants to give but may feel stretched, what are some creative or budget-friendly ways to make an impact?
Yeah, it's a tough time of year as far as like a lot of people do feel charitably inclined, but at the same time, like I said, the holidays are a stressor financially speaking. So, and also with the government shutdown that we've been experiencing, I don't know if it'll be done by the time this video airs, but as far as the government shutdown, SNAP benefits were reduced. There was pressure on food shelves, things like that. My wife volunteers at our local community food shelf, and they saw higher demand. That is a one way that I think a lot of people can really participate, whether it's through their church, maybe it's through their local, community type of organization. If they can volunteer in some way, and that can make a meaningful difference. I think noticing your neighbors is another way
Mhm.
that you can make a low cost impact. Like we used to have communities and you used to feel a little bit closer to your neighbors.
Mhm.
Understanding if they're going through any struggles, helping people out, coming together as a neighborhood to do things that might mean something to somebody. Our neighbor across the street has suffered with a lot of health issues, and so neighbors reaching out and helping with something as simple as kind of yard type chores or whatever it happens to be. If you notice your neighbors and talk to them, I think that brings communities together as well.
I love that. I think just your presence can make a huge impact on other people and just acknowledging them, as you said. So I think that is excellent. So as we close out this video, inquiring minds want to know, will Dan Dorval be partaking of apple pie today?
So, when we're talking about the holidays, I end up going to places. We don't get to host. We end up having to travel every year. So I am not the one who decides who gets to, or, what kind of pie is made and how that whole operation will work. So, Thanksgiving ends up being pumpkin pie, and Christmas is usually something that maybe there's apple pie, maybe there's not. But I can also tell you for inquiring minds that I make really good apple pie. And so I am somewhat judgmental around the holidays of other people's apple pie. So it's not something that I look at and say, well, this is what I'm looking forward to on the holidays. I'll eat whatever pie they put in front of me.
Sounds good. Well, I hope you enjoy whatever pie is put in front of you.
Well, so what is your favorite holiday treat or dessert?
Um, I like sweet potato pie. But I'm not a big holiday dessert person. I mean, I just like desserts in general. A holiday is not necessary, but for holidays, I would say sweet potato pie. But I'm really just into Thanksgiving dinner. Like I love the whole turkey and gravy and macaroni and cheese. I love Thanksgiving dinner. It's like my favorite mealtime.
So I think our viewers can get a sense that we are from very different parts of the country because sweet potato pie is not going to be a big thing up here. Also, you just mentioned macaroni and cheese on
Uh-huh.
Thanksgiving, and so that's also not a big thing up here. And, I suspect that you and I have a dramatically different, tradition when it comes to whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. I'm sure it's very different.
Yeah, probably so. Well, thank you so much. This was great and fun. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close out?
I think just keeping sight of, we've lost a lot in our culture as far as I'm concerned with keeping sight of like what's really important to you. And I feel like the holidays when I was growing up were very family oriented. It was a great time to just spend time together. Up here it's very cold. We're indoors, most of the winter, and it was a great opportunity to get together and just spend time that was important. And those are the memories that I had. And now we're getting a little bit more away from family. We're getting away from the things that are really important this time of year and moving more towards things. And so that's disappointing to me in some regards, but if people can think about, hey, maybe I even reach out to a family member and just talk to them or spend time with them. That's really what I'd like them to take away from this type of a discussion.
I agree. And maybe with everything that's going on, maybe it'll draw people closer to want to spend more time with family.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And until next time, have a good one.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank you.